So I've been using the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 for a few days now, and this phone is actually better than I thought it would be, even though it's the same phone as last year. Let me explain. If we're looking at this phone versus last year's model, they're basically the same phone with the same basic design, same cameras. But what's different is actually under the hood, and that's where the changes actually blew me away. By the way, this phone is still going on pre-order, so if you guys want, you can pre-order now and save like literally 50% off the phone, like completely. So if you guys want, I'll have a link down below for you to check out. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, and no, not that elephant, but the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2. See, it's not just a chip, but it's also the guts to the camera system. The 8 Gen 2 heavily changes the dynamics of the photos and videos being taken with the Z Fold 5. Video quality has been improved over last year's model, with stabilization improving as well, with less jitters and stutters while walking and panning around. See, even though the cameras are the same exact cameras, what really matters in mobile photography is the chipset. That is the actual guts to the camera. That's what does the HDR. That's what does the stabilization. That's what does everything from the moment you click that shutter button. The actual hardware is good if it's upgraded, but it's not the most important thing. HDR has also been improved, with photos having way more shadow detail, along with highlights being controlled much better than the Z Fold 4. The photos taken with the Z Fold 5 look really good, and in some cases, not all, but some cases, even better than my Galaxy S23 Ultra. I think if you're looking for a really good folding phone with amazing software and really good cameras, you just cannot go wrong with the Z Fold 5. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 also makes the phone really buttery smooth compared to last year's model. The Z Fold 4 was not a slouch by any means. It is still a very powerful phone. But there were times when, if an app was closed, it was not in the background, it's just completely closed. Whenever you first open it and you make really quick movements such as scrolling, it would stutter for just a second, like a quarter of a second, right? But you noticed it. That completely goes away with the Z Fold 5. No matter what app you open, no matter how fast you open it, no matter how fast you interact with it, it just doesn't stutter. It is a monster. I also like how you never really even need to go home. Like, you don't even need to go to the home screen. All you got to do is just click on this right here. You can open up any app you want. So just click on here. It'll automatically switch. Then if you want to go back to the app that you were using, you just click on the taskbar and that's it. I mean, you literally never have to go home, ever, like at all. Another big change that I can definitely appreciate straight away is that the display now matches the brightness of the Galaxy S23 Ultra, 1750 nits, and it is a huge, noticeable improvement over the Z Fold 4. I was at the park a few days ago. You guys actually saw a bunch of camera samples from the park. I was there for a couple hours. The sun was directly over me. I was using the phone because I was actually testing the phone, and it did not overheat once. The screen did not dim once. The phone just worked the way I was expecting it to work. It didn't surprise me in a good way or in a bad way. It just did exactly what I wanted to, without overheating, without dimming the display, like I said. It's so good, because like I had the Pixel Fold, and that phone overheated while I was at the pool for like 45 minutes, So for me, it's such a huge deal whenever you're buying such an expensive product that it just does what you ask it to. It doesn't give you any problems, and I respect that. So this new boxy design of the Z Fold 5 I really like, because it actually makes opening the phone feel confident. With last year's model, there were times if my thumb was slippery and I tried opening up the phone, my thumb would slip off, and there were times where I almost dropped the phone because of that, and that's the last thing you want to do with an $1,800 phone, right? Exactly. With this new boxy design, opening the phone feels more confident, and I never had the time where my thumb would slip off. At least not yet. And I don't see it happening because your thumb has more surface area to kind of grab onto. Now with that, the hinge feels better. It feels easier to open and close, but not in a bad way. I don't want people associating that with feeling cheap. This phone does not feel cheap at all. That's the last thing this phone feels like. But opening it up, it just feels smooth. It feels linear. There's not a moment where it's tough and then it gets easier, or vice versa. It's just a nice linear progression, and then it just kind of snaps open. I mean, it feels solid. If you've never felt a folding phone before from Samsung, go to your local electronics store and try it out. This phone just feels like a tank. Now, as for the battery life, I've only been using it for a couple days now, so it's still not really, like, Android, it has to kind of get used to how you use your phone before you can really see the battery life on how good it is or how bad it is. So far, it's good. It's lasting me throughout the day, but it's still learning my usage patterns, so it's not as good as it can be. I will give you guys an update regarding battery in a few days or in about a week from now, so stay tuned for that. The Fold 5 is not like a massive, huge change from the Fold 4. In fact, visually, it looks basically the same, except the flash is here instead of here. I mean, that's really the only change visually, of course, and it now folds flat. But when you're looking at it from the back or from the front and you don't really know your phones well, you could not tell that this is the newest Fold, right? But it's not supposed to be a massive change. It's supposed to be a polish from what's already good, right? Samsung is taking what's already good and just making it better, regardless if it's visually or not. This phone factually is better than a Z Fold 4. It's more durable, it has a brighter display, a better chip, which affects everything from multitasking to taking photos and videos. The hinge feels better, and just overall the phone feels better. It's a very fun phone, but obviously it's not for those of you who have the Z Fold 4. It's for those of you who have the Z Fold 3, 2, or God forbid, the first one. It's for those that haven't never experienced a folding phone and would like to. And now is the perfect time to try out a folding phone, because now it's durable, it's comfortable. There's no compromise as before there was. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, definitely click that like button. It's completely free to you, but it helps me and the channel a lot, and I always truly appreciate it. And again, I will have links down below to where you guys can save a lot of money, but that deal runs out in like a few days. So if you guys want to take advantage of it, now is the time. And as always, this was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.